So we continue to sit down with the movers and shakers from the city of kings and queens, Wabulawayo. And on today's episode of The Girls Table, we are joined by a phenomenal young woman. She's going to introduce herself and tell us more about what she does. My name is Hlengiwe Mthethwa, and this is The Girls Table. Thembi, I'm so happy to have you here today. When last did I see you?
It's been years.
Like, was it Gweru? Say what?
Yeah,
or did I see you after that?
No,
we
was the
haven't
last
met
time
since
I saw you.
then.
Yeah.
How have
yeah.
you been?
I'm good, thanks.
Thank you so much.
It's so funny how we've switched, because then at that time I was coming to Blaui, you're going to Harare.
Yes, I was, and now.
Yeah. Dilotia Feduk.
Dilotia change, I know. All right, so I always say, no humility up in here. We want to hear the work that you are doing as a woman, and especially representing Obulawayo. So please take this opportunity to introduce yourselves to the listener and tell us a little bit about the work that you do.
Yeah, but how long do you have?
Go to town. Go to town.
Okay, let's start with, I'm Thembi Terry Zulu. I was born here.
Where does Terry come from?
My mom had two best friends, Terry and Lynn. So she just took it upon herself to say, okay, I'm just going to make it myself. But then now when I'm in the streets, everyone's like, Tererina. I'm like, oh my gosh. So
Tererina.
Yeah, so I used to block that out before.
Yeah.
And then when I started building my brand, I realized as a woman, you're going to get married. So Thembi Zulu was not going to do it. So then I just dropped my surname in, preparation for that.
Yeah.
And I became the brand Thembi Terry.
Yes.
So now when you look for me everywhere, Thembi Terry. So what I do, currently I'm a copywriter at an advertising agency. I've been a copywriter by day for 4 years now.
Okay.
It's crazy. But also on the side, I am founder at Girl Granja Zimbabwe, which is a social club for women, not just women, but girls as well.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, it seems like it goes with like a lot of different names. Like it's Girl Social Club on Twitter, and then it's Girl Granja on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then there's the Queen's Club on WhatsApp. That's you as well, right?
What I've found is that, especially from a background of advertising, it's like when you're selling an event. You're not going to just sell it as, Hlengi is going to be there. You also have to find other angles to sell it. So because some will come for this, some will come for that. But ultimately, it's one thing. And Girl Granja is growing. It started off as a WhatsApp group, believe it or not. And then we called it Girl Granja Bulawayo initially. And then we got on social media and created a virtual community where women and young girls could come together and start discussing the issues. Because what we realized is, like, for example, in Harare, clean water was a thing. And here in Bulawayo, we didn't have water problems until recently. But we didn't have water problems. So we realized that girls in different cities have different issues that they're battling with. So it started to outgrow us, and girls from all over the country started to join it, and then it became Girl Granja, like national. So we dropped Bulawayo and it just remained Girl Granja. So before that, what we wanted to do is we realized that the older generation, like the moms and the tetes, had the expertise. They'd been through life. They've seen things. They know things. And the younger generation, millennials, the AMA 2000, have, they have ideas, they have energy, they have the innovation, they have technology now. But then the two are not having conversations, so they can't learn from each other. We decided, no, we're going to create a bridge between the two through sisters, which is why Girl Granja is for women and girls. So that's one of the things that we do also through mentorship. And in the long run, why you're saying it looks like it looks scattered, but Rome wasn't built in a day, but a stone was laid every single day. So that's what we're doing right now. We're laying the stones, and as time goes on, you're going to see the vision of what Girl Granja is going to be, because it's going to go into media. It's going to start making publications. We're doing the blog thing already, where girls are now submitting articles towards the Girl Granja blog. We want to start doing a vlog TV show on issues that girls and women are facing. Let's have them come out, discuss on a topic, because it's not easy for you to talk to your direct circle. But sometimes you can learn from someone else's sister, or from someone else's mom, or from someone else's aunt, where you can just get advice without having the discomfort of maybe talking to somebody that you know, because some of these issues we've just been ingrained to think that we can't talk about them out loud with your mom or your aunt or someone close to the family. So sometimes it's just good to have somebody there that won't give you I don't know, like fear of retribution, or they're going to look at me different, what are they going to think about me. So yeah, that's how Girl Granja came about.
All right, so you've spoken about a lot of things, blogging,
But I
vlogging, Girl
warned you.
Granja. No, it's okay. And we're going to break it down.
Yeah.
But my question now is, are you where you've always wanted to be? Because I think as women, we are forced or expected to have it all figured out. And, you know, are you where you've always wanted to be? Like when you look back when you were 16 or when you were 18, did you always think you'd be in front of the camera? Did you always think you'd be in the media, so to speak?
Listen.
Yeah.
When I was watching Generations, I always knew I wanted to work at SVN Communication.
Of course.
So it's always been the dream. And for me, I'm just glad that I figured it out quicker than everybody else. Yeah, because I then got the experience. Because, you know, like when you're young, and I always say this to people that are like, oh, I don't want to do internships, I don't want to volunteer. There's things about that my parents didn't understand. When where are you going? Akula mali phakathi, akula sitshwala, you know what I mean? Why
We'll
are you doing
We'll talk more about that, about the article you wrote. So we need to link both.
You know, so yeah, there was that. But now I've realized that in all the internships and the opportunities that I did, there's something that God was teaching me. There's a piece of the puzzle. You know, like if you played Mario, the video game, how he's going around collecting coins. I was collecting coins, and now things are starting to come together. But if you don't have a teachable spirit to then understand that each opportunity is an opportunity to learn something new, then you will completely miss it. So everything that I went through, all the mags that I went through, all the opportunities that I got going through to say what's like where we met, that's where we met.
Yes,
it didn't make sense because it wasn't a paycheck.
Yes.
But it's forged a friendship between us and increased our network. There's people that you know now that you got to meet when you were spending time in Gweru with all the other people.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about women in the media space.
Okay. I love this topic.
You love it?
Yeah.
I'm glad that you love it, because I've recently gone into the media. You know, I didn't start there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of learning curves that I'm encountering. So I want to hear what you have to say about the media space and how conducive or receptive it is of women, especially Gobulawa. I know, you know, you aren't around a lot, but even in Zimbabwe in general. What's your take?
My biggest issue when it comes to women in media, especially not just in Bulawayo and Zim as a whole, is that so especially women in Zimbabwe, right, is they're failing to strike that balance for longevity, right? So you'll find Uguti, somebody was, you know, had a promising career, and then for some reason it dwindles. They don't stay in the space as long as their male counterparts do.
But what is it? Is it that we don't have what it takes? Is it that the spaces are not conducive for us to make it? Like, I feel like there's a balance that needs to be struck.
The problem is that not just in business, but in other art spaces as well, women are passing a sell-by date. The moment we're born, they'll tell you, oh, men can impregnate a woman until he's 99, until the day he dies, because they're constantly producing. And then they'll be like, no, but with women, you're already born with the eggs there. So as if you're wasting too much time and you're past 25, they are now deteriorating because you were born with them. They're literally 25 years old. Do you get what I mean? And that's the mentality that they've also taken into women's careers, that if you haven't cut it by this time, we've seen it in Hollywood as well, and Hathaway fighting those kind of issues to say, no, we need a new shinier model. You are now too old to be on the TV screen. Now you can only play somebody's mother. And it happens. There's a lady that I had the pleasure of working with. She was a musician, one of the top musicians, and she left it all behind when she got married. Am I saying marriage ruins women's careers.
No, you didn't.
But it's starting to look
It
that
looks
way.
like it.
Am I saying don't marry? No, by no means. That's not what I'm saying. But it seems to be the trend, and it's not just marriage. I think also the patriarchy of we have our Bulawayo asset that used to dance, and she got married, and now it just doesn't. It's not the same anymore.
Yeah. So whose fault is it? Is it us? Is it the space? Is it the society? Because I'm also looking at a situation where there is no space for new actors or new players to come onto the field. Uti, we know Uti lapana ulobani, but new faces, fresh blood when it comes to content creation. I mean, you're a content creator. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit. So is the space conducive even for abantu abatsha to come through and,
I think it is.
It is?
Because when I met you, this is not where I saw you ending up.
I know.
And I don't think somebody gave it to you. You had to go and break down a door to make this opportunity for yourself. Do you get it?
Yeah.
There's things that I felt before I opened Girl Grunge Zimbabwe. There's places where I went before that. I worked with other NGOs. I was volunteering. I was taking the time to go there. And I found that, you know what? These people have a different vision. And that's okay. You have to do what they want to do. That was their vision. But it wasn't aligned with mine. So I was like, you know what? This is not for me. Let me go and create the thing that's going to be for me. That is going, okay, I will color some. Do you see? So it's not, don't wait for somebody to open the door for you.
For you, yeah.
Go and create your own door. I hated being edited. So I knew for a fact I wasn't going into the newsroom. So what did I do? Created my own opportunity, created my own platform where I can say what I want. If it's broken English, great. If
it's mad.
Because when you read my blog, I write it literally the way I sound. You can hear me.
You can hear. I know, because I read your work. So,
you see?
Yeah.
So exactly the way I sound, that's how I am.
All right.
So this is where I'm at, where if we continue to wait for the industry to be opened up for us, it's not going to happen. Sloke as Tandas as CCT, God opened doors for me. But are you at that door right now? Like, umnyango vuliwe, but you are standing all the way out there. So get to the door. Ask God to open the door. And if the door is not opening, go and build your own place and put your own door with your own keys.
All right, so let's talk about being a content creator. It's a word that I hear a lot often, and it's being thrown around. And a lot of people are asking themselves, "What we need content creation?" Especially with the fourth industrialization and how a lot of work these days is associated with technology and social media or the internet, so to speak. So, content creator. What do you guys really do?
We create content.
We create content. For what? For who? For why? Just to...
When I started, it was a module in my journalism degree.
Yeah.
And people seemed to enjoy my stories. I was like, oh, this is a pleasant surprise. So what I actually did from there, because I started to build up an audience, people were excited about what I had to say. They wanted to know what I was doing. I was like, oh, okay, this could be a thing. So I closed this one that I had opened in school and created a new one, which was called The Complication. My mother was like, no, it can't be called The Complication. It's got to change. This can't be your brand. I was like, okay, all right, okay. So I changed it to Thembi Terry. And then I started to create content. The content that I create is for young women in Zimbabwe, things that they can relate to. So I've found the secret to my success has been striking a balance between a personal experience and making it informative. So start off with, okay, this is what I went through and this is how I dealt with it. This is who helped me. This is the place where you can get help. So making it a personal thing is what has struck it for people, because now people don't like which is why most awareness programs are not working. People don't like being told what to do. They don't like being scared anymore with, oh, do this, be cautious, wear protection or whatever. They want to hear personal experiences. That's what they're into. So each and every one of us, as long as we're alive, we're creating content every day, but there's people that have now had the foresight to monetize that content.
That's my next question, because I think the bottom line is you need to get paper for your content. So how are you monetizing? How maybe can you advise the girl that is watching now to monetize their content?
My blog has been my catalog. I kid you not, for the past 4 years, the jobs that I've received have come through my blog, where someone says, here, she texted me, she's like, so I was on your blog and I thought, do you get what I mean? So it's opening doors for me. I remember saying this one time, Okuti, I call my blog The Gentleman because it opens so many doors for me.
Oh, nice.
So people go on my blog, they like my content, they like my vibe, they like that. And then they'll be like, okay, can you do this for us? Can you write? So sometimes companies will then pay me to ghostwrite for their own accounts. There's people that will be like, can you advertise this for us? Can you put it as your status on your WhatsApp? Can you make a Facebook post? Can you just use this hashtag? Like currently, OK Grand Challenge is going on, and they've hired influencers right now. But for you to get to the point where you monetize, you need to create an audience, because advertising is advertising. I need to know that if I hire you, how many people am I going to reach through you?
Through your platforms,
so if it's just like 2, 3, then what's the point? You need to, number one, constantly create content.
It has to be consistent. Yeah. Have you managed to maintain your consistency? Or there are times where, it's been, especially when it comes to your blog? Yeah.
I have. But the thing with me, like when we started, I did say that I do plenty things.
Yeah.
So, okay, I hate to, but I need to make this point. It's like when the prophet was living in the wilderness. You're going to be fed by the ravens. And then he was like, no, the ravens aren't going to feed you anymore. Please move so that Umfelogazi is the one that will now take over looking after you.
Yeah.
So you need to have multiple streams of income. So there's times in the year when I need to switch from one project to another, because that project is now in the peak. So Women's Month, I have to be on Girl Grandeur. Internet Day, I need to be on my other platform. ZITEZW, I know I need to be on my copywriter steez. So I'm consistent in that way. Uguti, I'm constantly working, but you can't tell where I'm working. So I'm moving. Gotta go and create money. Okay, so now this is dry. All right, now I need to move on to
the next thing.
Exactly.
Maybe just briefly, before we go to our next point, what does it take to become a blogger? Like, are there prerequisites? What does it take?
You can become a blogger. The thing is, people look at other bloggers and then they start feeling like, but will people be interested? But people are interested. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's why the reality TV industry is booming so much, because people are interested. We've been gopozering since way back when,
Way back
now
when.
You're gopozering and it's you creating the content. You get to control how people see you. So you're not just waiting for the newspaper to go and cover you. Write your own news. Celebrate yourself. Go and brag about yourself, to be like, listen, today I took out the trash. It's an achievement for you. But when you go to mainstream media, it's not. So now that's a platform for normal, everyday people to just highlight and make themselves the hero in their story. You are the story.
You are the story. All right, so let's talk about one of your most recent articles relating to what you said earlier about volunteerism and internship and how you're collecting coins like Mario. But in one of your most recent articles, you said, exposure, which is a word that is thrown around a lot in the media. Yanzelani exposure, platform, but you're not getting paid for it. So what do you have to say about that?
Okay. One of my first internships was for a big brand. And I was so excited when I got accepted. I was like, oh my gosh, this brand is huge. Like one of the top brands in media in Zimbabwe. And they were paying me peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
I was making 150. Well, back then it was money. But I was making 150. I was working Monday to Thursday, 9 to 9. It was 12 hours.
Yeah.
And looking back at it now, I do not resent it at all. But because it was such a good brand, it's a good look for me on my CV. Kuti, if you could get accepted into such a brand, number one, to hold your own. Also, when I was now in there, I was able to twist that brand into my own goals. Because now I had to cue and had control over the content that was being created. I was like an assistant producer. So I had control over what was going to be discussed, what were the topics, what were the questions, who the guests were going to be. And in that time, I managed to then call in the people that I knew in life I wanted to meet. This was my way in. Yeah. This is how I was going to meet them. When they come in for the interview, I had to prep them. So I got to meet them face to face. They got to know me. They got to know Thembi. Do you see? Now that I'm way past that, I created a network. I had strategic partnerships that I created during that time that I'm using up to today. They recognize my name. And in Zimbabwe, Vele, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I got to know people very quickly through that internship. So if you're going to go that route, you need to understand, number one, monetary benefits are not the only benefits that are there. You need to now do cost beneficial analysis, or whatever marketers call it, to say, how can I turn this into my benefit? How can I make this benefit me? Because it doesn't always have to be about money. If Boiti were to come into the country and they say, Thembi, please cover Boiti on your blog. Opportunity to meet Boiti. That's going to help my blog break into the South African audience. Is it a monetary benefit? No. But
so where do we draw the line? Where do we draw the line? Because I'm looking at the work that you've put into your brand, which we're going to talk about that as well, brand management.
Yeah.
And now nobody can say, come and speak at this for exposure, because you've been exposed. You've been exposed for a while. So where do we draw the line? Are you saying, accept gigs for exposure for a certain time, but then at a certain level you can't accept it anymore?
But at my level, I'm still accepting exposure.
You're still accepting. So what were you saying in your article?
I was saying, like what I just said right now, Uguti, you need to do the beneficial analysis for yourself, because we have different objectives in Bilwen.
Yeah.
If money is it for you, then say, I can't accept anything that's not money. But there are times when there's other benefits. You are tologunyel, But this is what I'm saying, King.
Yeah.
They call you for an event, right? And in that crowd, you're going to be addressing Michelle Obama. Are you going to say no? There's no money. Are you going to say no? I'm
Absolutely
asking.
not.
You're not.
So you're saying it's just about assessing the situation.
Assess the situation for you.
Yeah.
There are opportunities where I still show up because I know Guti Gupidga picture yami. This is one brick in the wall. Yeah. But if for you money is it, great. Because this is why I'm always saying, Guti, Linga, don't race with somebody else. Because you don't know where the end goal is. When you will get your movies, you see angale emakandeni mina bese ngkhona somewhere near Bellevue. You don't know where I'm going, so you can't race with me because you don't know where the destination is. So what is the destination for you? Does this opportunity align with where you are going?
And your goals.
Exactly. Will it make you meet somebody that you need to meet? Will it bring you a new door? Is it an opportunity for you to try something new? Is it an opportunity for you to create content using somebody else's resources? Because sometimes umuntu yathi gangila mali, but there's resources like this. And brands can also barter. There's an internet service provider that came to me and said, we don't have money to pay you, but we're willing to sponsor you on the internet.
And you're like, yes, honey.
Do you see? Is it money involved?
And I mean,
No, but do I still need internet to create my content?
Your content.
Yes.
And to get it out there. Yeah.
Imali ngiyiseva from ukubhadalela internet sengikwanisa ukuyisebenzisa in other things. So you need to now sit down to be like, okay, in this situation, what is in it for me? what can I get out of this? And if it's not enough for you, say no. But okay, no, this could help me because in the future, kule game lapana. Then you say yes. So that's where it is. And it's different for every person because we want different things. We're under different circumstances. Abanye bale mali yabo yankai. And they are just out here for the fame and not the fortune. So you need to decide, what do I want? Do I want fame? Do I want fortune?
All right. So let's talk about your blog for a little bit. I think I watched just one episode. Has there been more since I watched? What's the vision for your vlog?
In the world over, fourth industrial revolution, people are now leaning more towards video.
Absolutely. YouTube is like,
you must adapt or die. That's the truth that is there.
Absolutely.
So people, you'll find now a paragraph on Facebook. We don't care
we
about
don't
that.
Want to read.
Yeah. Also, because people now are leaning more towards video. So you'll notice that most of the top brands that really know what they're doing, are now moving towards more video content.
Absolutely.
Because now people don't want to read. They don't have time for that. They just want to play the video while they're doing something else. So when you play the radio while you're cooking or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what people are now doing in terms of video. They want now show and tell.
But do you think Zimbabwe understands the opportunities that lie on YouTube or vlogging and so forth? Because I was reading about TFL. Lumumba's and apparently now it's the most watched so forth worldwide, and he was like, I'm making so much. He's like I beat our praise, I'm like doing the most out here. So do you think we understand the level, the potential?
No, people don't understand, because you know what?
Yeah.
For him, in that there's product placement there.
Yes.
I think Zimoko, if I'm not incorrect, Zimoko is providing the car that they drive in. And also I think there's Chicken Inn involved, because I think they pull up from Chicken Inn. There's also YouTube views. YouTube pays you. Do you know that Bus Stop TV bought a whole combi from just their YouTube earnings?
I did not know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
So YouTubing is a little trickier, because for you to even start monetizing it, you need to have 1,000 subscribers, and people need to have watched 4,000 hours of your content.
Of your channel.
So imagine if
so that's why they're always saying, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Please click the subscribe button. It's somewhere here. They all sound this. It's so cookie cutter. So imagine you've inconsistently produced one video that is 5 minutes long. Do you know how many people have to watch a 5-minute video to make 4,000 hours? Wait, she's dying.
I'm sorry, you're killing me. Okay, continue.
But do you see? So people don't understand Uti. And also the problem is not just Uti at people level.
Yeah.
You also need to now go back in terms of the government, because they do the curriculum. Uguti, are you teaching these people Eskolo Uguti? In America now, YouTubing is now an official lesson.
Lesson?
It's like in the curriculum in the primary school.
Like in class?
Yeah.
Okay.
They actually have to go for YouTubing as a class.
Yeah.
Do you see?
Yeah.
Tina,
but just out here somewhere doing something.
See? But also there's things about infrastructure. People start to feel like, I don't have the right camera. I don't have my face done. I don't have a fancy back thing or whatever. But what they don't know, and I say this a lot, the reason why Nigeria and South Africa have managed to create a fruitful film industry is because they've stayed so true to who they are.
Who they are.
So
absolutely. They're not trying to be anybody else.
They're not trying to be somebody else. They're doing their thing in the dirty Soweto. They're really showing who they are. And that's what people are interested in. If you now start trying to look American and then they're looking at you like, what is this though, you know?
Yeah.
We already have our own people that do this. So be authentic, be African, go and do it at your house, no matter what your house is looking like. That's what people are there for. If it starts to look fake, that's when people are like, not so much, yeah. So that's what it's all about. Just start with your phone. Start with a Facebook Live. Start creating the audience. Have something to say. Say it consistently. Build a following. And then from there, that's when the money comes. Unless if you're the chicken in couple, then
it just landers you. All right. So one of the mandates of the Girls' Table is to address a lot of social, economic, cultural, political issues that women encounter, in our society. Is there a time where your work interacts, or is there an intersectionality between the work that you do and social issues in our community? Gender-based violence, economic empowerment, and so forth. Do you speak on issues like that?
I do, but the way that I speak on it is not, I've come to a point in my life where I now know how to package things that people don't want to hear in the way that they do. So you'll notice, like, even with my headlines and the way that I put issues across and the way that I'll throw in real life experiences, it's entertaining you. And then you, like, when you're done reading, you're like, never thought of it that way. So that's what we need to do. We need to find new ways of saying the things we've been saying. Because saying them the old way is now tiring. People are desensitized. This is really, we've heard Jesus is coming, but we need to hear it in a different way, packaged in a different way. And I package it in a Thembi Terry way that Thembi Terry readers can understand and relate to. You don't tell them, leave your man, you're abusive. Because this
is what we've been trying to say. Leave them.
Yeah, psychologically, did you know that when you tell them to leave, it makes them stay worse?
Yeah.
It's like when your mom said, you better not open that trunk. Hey, all you want to do is open the trunk.
What's inside.
You're like,
the trunk.
That trunk, I must open it. Or when you get to Harare and they're like, don't drink the tap water. All of a sudden you're just
like, I need to know.
The whole time. You just, not all you can think about is water. So when you tell people don't eat from the tree of good and evil. Eve is like, what? The tree? Why not? So you have to find new ways of telling people in a way that they can hear. The way that you talk to abantu abadala is not the same way you're going to speak to skr. You have to change according to the audience that you are speaking to. So I do touch a lot on those issues from personal experiences and the experiences of the people around me, and I have found a way that they can digest it in. Bite size in a humorous way, but a point is made.
Do you identify as feminist?
Look at the time. Hey, I think I can hear ish.
Just briefly, would you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd like to say yes because my mentor would like me to say yes.
Yeah.
Shout out Thembi Kumalo. But I'd like to say yes. But the thing that's gone wrong with that is people have taken it, tainted it, and it's now an objective thing. What it means to you is not what it means to Sam. It's not what it means to my mom. It's not what it means to my sister. Abanye, we're fighting amongst ourselves. Others like, how dare Cardi B twerk like that? And Cardi B is like, but you said I can choose what I want to do, and this is what I want to do. Loggerheads. No, Beyonce can't say she's feminist because she'll go out there and twerk and she stayed with the cheetah. Who said feminism says you can't stay with the... Do you see the issues that are there? Yeah. Do I believe in women's rights? Absolutely. And I don't know, Guti, maybe because my mom only had girls and we didn't have boys to then compare to and she had no choice, or I don't think it would have been different because then she just raised us to be independent thinkers in life,
generally.
To just go and do what you want to do. I don't know what maybe if there was a brother, then they would have said, maybe do you see? So in some households, it's not coming out like that. I believe that if she wants to go to school, let her go to school. I'm pro-choice, and people are gonna be like, yeah, now she's saying, yeah, they
Don't
can
worry
have
about
abortions.
them.
No, that's not.
Yeah, they can have abortions.
I want you to choose. The woman must choose what she wants to do. Do I want to work? Yes. The options must be there. Does she want to work? Yes. Does she want to stay home? Yes. But Tina, now we want her to choose what we want to choose.
Yes.
And there's
if she stays at home, then she's not feminist enough.
There's a brand of feminism that says, no, we'll only advocate for certain women's rights. But we're saying, no. Me, I'm saying, you know what? Whatever she wants to do.
Whatever you need to do.
If she wants to go and dance on the pole, get this money where it's at. Make this money, honey. You know. So if that's what she wants to do, great. If she says, I want to go to school, delete degrees, look after my babies, that's also okay. If she says, I don't want to get married, it's okay. If she says, I don't want to have kids, it's okay. Let her have the choice. What I don't want is for her to be backed in a corner because she couldn't choose, where they tell her she can't.
So as we wind down, you spoke about your mentor, Thembi?
Thembi.
Yeah. Are you mentoring any young ladies, any young girls?
I am. And I feel like I bit off more than I can chew. Currently, I have a group of 35 young women that I am mentoring in blogging. I created what's called a WhatsApp masterclass. So I put out a call and I said, I'm looking for 15. I got over 60 girls wanting to learn how to blog. I was like, oh my gosh. Because what I wanted is for women to be adequately equipped to take over this industry. The woman's story will never not be a story worth telling. Because for so long, men have taken control of what is said about women. People are dying to hear.
Yeah, they control the narrative.
Now that the woman can speak for herself, what does she say? Do you see? So I wanted to equip them to learn how to blog, to grow their brands, to be able to reach to a point where they can now monetize. Because you can't call something an industry if there's only one person. It's not an industry. So I need more women to level up and come up to the level that I am at. Because if there's more of us, we can now dictate what the industry says, how much we get paid, where we make the money, what the rules are. So that's where we're at right now in terms of that. There's Girls CITEZW. It's an international thing. I have 3 mentees. One of them is in India, my youngest one, Nini. I do mentorship on there as well. I also mentor girls from Girl Granja that are not necessarily into blogging, but just in life, just getting into my career. I would love to have more opportunities to speak to girls, not just about brand management, like how to get into the industry. What do you need? How do you package yourself in a way that makes you, like, you stop hunting for the jobs start hunting
for you.
How do you then set up your own thing? What are the things that you need? What are the tools? What are the equipments? What are the resources that are available? Which NGOs can you go to? Which companies do this sort of thing? So I would love to have a platform where I get more speaking opportunities to address young women in that way. Yeah.
So this is one such platform, and as we wind down, I like how you speak about yourself as a brand.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us are lacking in that. Like we treat ourselves nje angazi. So just briefly, what does it take to build a brand? Or what do you, like, briefly, so that if there is anything that they take away from Thembi being on the girls' table today, is how to build themselves as brands.
Consistency. I think with you and Emma, it's about carrying yourself as a business and understanding that everywhere that you go, everything that you do is going towards your brand. And the perfect representation of what I'm saying is, this one time I was walking through town, and I saw a girl, I thought it was Ruveneko. but her brand is so strong that my brain said she could never be seen walking in town. That's how strong her brand is.
Yeah.
There's things that you can imagine Bonang doing. There's things you can't imagine her doing.
Yeah.
That is what her brand is. Her brand is lifestyle. It's lush. It's luxurious. So you're never gonna see her kusasa says Mplomela makenge, Soweto, Chovicho. So there's things that she's not going to do because that's not her brand.
Yeah.
So if you want to build your brand, what do you want to be known for? And there's an exercise that I had to do with my blogger girls of if you were to be covered in Forbes magazine today, what would you want that opening paragraph to say? Kylie Jenner, self-made makeup lip kit. Yeah, do you see?
Yeah.
So in that little bio, what do you want to be known for? So now when people call you to say, Claire, can you come through and attend our event? You now think to yourself, okay, my brand is maybe conservative Christian, right? And let's pop bottles. It's not your brand.
It's not your brand.
So sometimes you have to say no to the money because it doesn't align to your brand.
Yeah.
So that's how you build your brand. Decide who you want to be, what you want to be known for, and only do that. That's it.
Awesome. I like that. Any last words for our listeners as we wrap up everything? Advice, anything?
I like to talk, my gosh. But what I'd like to say, and I say this with every part of me, and you said it's for young girls.
Yes, for girls generally.
Nobody's coming to save you. It's not a husband, certainly not the government. Why are you laughing? I'm trying to be serious.
Please continue.
So I think when women come to that epiphany of no one is coming to save you, you have to get this money for you. No one's going to protect you. No one is going to look after you. No one is going to bring you the life that you want. No one is coming to save you. You have to put on the big boy pants and create the world that you want to live in. They're going to say no, then that's fine. Go and create a... It's the story of my life.
Yeah.
Where doors closed. And I was like, Shab, Nkulunkulu is like, you don't need the crutch anyway. Go and build your own thing. So go and build your own thing where you can be authentically you. But don't wait for anyone. Maybe the economy next year, or maybe things are going to change. Maybe gule scholarship, or maybe donor funding, or my uncle in the UK, gang jigela pounds. No one is coming to save you. This life is literally 100% your responsibility.
Thembi, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank
I had
you for
a great
having
time.
me.
And there you have it, watchers, listeners, Thembi Terry. No one is coming to save you. You have to do it yourself. And that is it for this week's episode of The Girls Table. That's a wrap.